Hi everybody, this is Pat in the paper closet. I'm here today. We're going to get started on making our album, our mini album. This is the little things. This will be part one. I'm going to show you how to make the pages. There's 5 pages in this book that we'll expand on and make a lot of flips and pockets. So I'm going to show you how to assemble them, and I'm also going to show you, I don't want you to just follow me, but I want you to design your own. So I want you to figure out what size you want your pages. Now I'm going to be making them the same size as this book, but you can make a smaller book. I'm going to show you how to figure that out. So we're going to just get started now. I have my thing. We're going to cut. You're going to need 10 sheets of cardstock in your base color, meaning this will be the color that will be the backing on all your pages and your cover, the outer edge of our pattern paper. Below this is our base. So everything that you see here in this light blue along the edge will be black on this album. So all your pages will have a black backing. See here, these all have white. These all have a white base. So you decide what colors you're going to be using. Pick a paper pack that you like. In my case, I think I'm going to be using papers that are mostly black, white, and gray on this album. And then we'll take it from there. So in order to figure out how big you want your pages, I want you to take a piece of paper. Now the only thing I suggest is know what size photos you're going to be putting in here. Because if you're going to be using 4x6 photos, you need an outer edge around, or you can't have your photo the exact same size as your page. In other words, you want some outer edge, the top, the bottom. Normally when you put in a 4x6 photo, let's see, there are my 4x6s. We'll say this is a 4x6, the photo itself. It's on a mat, so in total this is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. See, I have an outer mat here. The inside, the photo size is 4x6. So in order to put it on your page, you don't ever want to put your photo mat and photo, or just the photo, up against your edge of your fold or your binding, because it's going to get stuck in there and prevent it from closing. So you need like at least, I'd say, a 1/2 inch from your folded edge. And you also want, say, 1/2 inch on your outer edge. So if you're only going to be placing one photo on page, you're going to want some room for journaling or a few bits of ephemera, decorations. So I would say the minimum I would make a page for a 4x6 photo, I'd say 7 by 5x7 at least. That'll give you a little room for decorating. Not a lot, but a little. You can add a few extra things in there. So the smallest I would go on a page is 5x7. Now if you're planning on using smaller photos, you would change that. But that's basically how you figure out the size of your pages. You always figure out what size pages you're going to have first, before you make your cover. Because your cover is going to be larger. Okay, so I'll give you more hints on that as we go along. So let's get started with the pages. Alright, so you've figured out what size pages you want. Now you're going to cut them out so that they are Say like I suggested, you want 5 by 7. You can cut 5 pages that are 5 sheets of your cardstock that are 5 by 7. And then you're going to cut another 5 sheets that are 1 inch longer than the length of your page. These are say they're 5 by 7, you would cut the second set of 5 at 5 by 8. The 5 inches always will remain the same. That's the width. No, you know what? I made a mistake on that. The pages are... Yeah, that's correct, because our pocket end is going to be here. All of our pages are going to have a pocket in them for an extra pull-out. See here? So your openings are going to be on this end and on the binding end. Your closed ends are going to be top and bottom, which is where you're going to add the 1/2 inch. So a 5 by 7 page would be 5 by 8 on the second set. I hope you understand that. I don't know if I'm explaining that clearly. You need the extra 1/2 inch on each side to fold it under and make it into a pocket on this edge. So this would be our 7 by 5, and you would have 8 by 5 as the back page. So I'll show you how to arrange those. Okay, these are mine. I've cut 5 of each. Now mine are going to be 6 3/4 by 8 1/4. I want the same size pages as I made in the original book. My second set is going to be 6 3/4 by 9 1/4. I've cut them all already. I'm going to score them. I'll show you how to put a few together, and then I'll do the rest off camera so this video is not so long. Anyway, I'm going to get my scoreboard. Get that out of the way. Okay, now you're going to score these. The longer one, the one that's 1 inch longer. The other ones don't get scored at all. I'm going to score these, put them on the long side, and score them at a 1/2 inch on each end. 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch in from this end, depending on how large you're making your pages. So each end gets a 1/2 inch score. All 5 of them. A 1/2 inch. And a 1/2 inch. That's 2. A 1/2 inch. And a 1/2 inch. Make sure you've got your paper in the scoreboard straight, up against the corner and the edge. That's 4. No, that's 3. This is 4. 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch. Now if you're like me and you have trouble scoring up against that close edge, all you have to do is, rather than score over here, score your end, turn it around this way, and score this end at the 1/2 inch. It's a lot easier over here. A 1/2 inch from the end, turn it around, make sure it's in the corner, a 1/2 inch. Okay, that's all the scoring we need for now, as far as the pages go. And now we're going to fold all the folds that we just scored. Give them a good burnishing now. because you want these to lie flat. Fold them all in the same direction. Now I'm not going to give you the step-by-step on this entire book because I want to show you just how to create your own, starting from scratch with your measurements. So that's my purpose here. I will show you some matting, but not all. But I'll show you the finished product when it's done. And you'll see how I mat everything. So I'm going to take you through building the book. So we have 2 done. Fold and burnish really well, especially on the corners. We are going to trim those so we don't have so much bulk, but we'll do that next. You don't want bulk. The more you can trim off corners and pockets, the better. So we have 2 more to go. This one. Both folded in the same direction. I go up. It's easier for you to fold downward and burnish, and make sure you do it that way on both edges. Last fold. Now, each page is going to have 2 pieces. This part and the shorter part that we didn't score on. This is my 6 3/4 by 8 1/4. The shorter one of the 2. What you're going to do, I find it easier for me, I'm going to put my writing on the inside where it'll never be seen. Line them up neatly. You don't want to go over the edge. You want to be right up to your fold. Okay. Nice and even. Now I just put my arm here and hold it in place. Take your glue. I know what I forgot. We're going to cut off the edges. Less bulk. All I want you to do here is just miter off a little bit of the corner. Both ends. Just a small angle to the fold. On all 4 corners. This way, when it folds in and we glue it, we don't have all that bulk on the end. So when we're putting in our mat, it won't get caught on there. Okay, so now we're going to line it up again. Page and a smaller page on top. Line it up. The ends and the bottom and the top. And then you're going to take your glue and then give it a good shake and get it started. Okay, now make sure you get your glue all the way to those little corners where we cut off the miter. You don't want anything loose on those ends to stop your photo from going in your mat. Just put glue on the entire piece. Not too much, you don't want it squishing out. Get your end. Now, gently let that fall back down where it was and press it for a good few seconds. Okay, that should hold it. You can turn it around the other Do the same thing. Put your glue on. I should have filled my glue bottle. Okay, getting the glue on those points up to the fold, filling in the whole area. Up to a point on the end there. Okay, bring it down. And again, hold it for a good few seconds and make sure it sticks. This should be flat and as even as you can get it, just so it's not overlapping the fold. Make sure both ends are gluing. 1, 2, now. Okay, now we have our page glued down. Make sure it's good and dry. Well, not totally dry, but it's sticking enough. Make sure that it's open and nothing's glued the edges shut. Only your fold should be glued down on both ends. So you see, you have an opening here, and then it's open all the way through. This side is going to be where your mat goes in and out. We made this a pocket with that large mat that we're making. This end will go on your binding, which we'll be making in the next video. So this would get glued onto your binding, and then your page will open and close with the binding, and your mat will be sticking out here. I also want you to try to find an image of a tab that you'll want on the edge of your mat. Now on this one, I used this type of a tab. There it is. Let's pull this one out. You see, I found an image, I put it in my graphics program, and made it the size I wanted. This one is about 2 3/4 inches long. And then I made an offset to it, the white part. So I have one here with an offset, and then on the other side there's another one with an offset to match. That'll make a very sturdy tab that you can pull out. It won't bend very hard. It's been glued together. So try and find an image you want to use as a tab, or draw your own that you can trace, and then make an offset to each one. You will need, there are 5 mats, so you're going to need 10 of your outer piece and 10 of the offsets. Each one is going to have 4 layers. There's 2 on the front and 2 on the back. So start looking for an image or drawing an image of tabs that you want. So we'll have them ready when we make our mats. Alright, I'm going to glue one more of these on camera, and then I'm going to do the rest off camera. I'm going to take another piece with the folded ends. I'm going to cut off the corners, miter them off, maybe a little less than 1/4 of an inch to the fold on an angle. You see? All 4 corners you're going to do. Just cutting off a little bit of an angle. Down to the fold. Oh, cut into the fold. And that's it. So all 4 corners are now mitered. I'm going to lay down, hold them in good. Take our other piece, this shorter piece with no folds. We have an A and a B piece here. Match them up. Lay them down, put your arm on it to hold it still. Get your glue going. start putting your glue all the way to the corners, all the way across, close to the fold as you can get. You don't want too much glue there at the fold, it's going to squish out. Keep going to the end, corner edges. That looks good. Now let it drop down, and don't move your arm. Press it in 2 seconds. You want the glue to hold. Okay, now turn it around. Do the same thing. Put your arm on your page so you hold everything flat. Put it on your glue. My glue is not cooperating. I'm going to have to fill my bottle up before I return. It's not so much that it's going to squeeze out. You don't want it squishing out because then it's going to glue your page shut. You don't want this part glued down to your page. So it creates your opening all the way to the edge. Glue on the corners. Okay, let it drop down. Press it down, nice and flat. Give it a few seconds to dry. Now I've seen people do these, they use double-sided tape. I'd rather use glue. I feel it holds better. Somehow I think the tape dries out after a few years. You want this to stay together. After all the work you put into it, you don't want it falling apart. Okay. So again, we have our page. Yep. Opening on both sides. Short side is our width. The long side is our length. So now we have 2 pages done. So these are going to be the size of our pages. So depending on what you decided and how big you want it, this is how it should look. Alright, so I'm going to continue putting together my pages off camera. And I'll be back soon with the second part, part 2, where we'll make the cover to our book. I will show you how to figure out the size. And you will need chipboard and cardstock, your base cardstock, and two pieces of chipboard. And we're going to make a 3-inch spine on this. So we may need three pieces of chipboard, depending on the size you have. 12 by 12, I would say 2. 8.5 by 11, I would say 3. Okay, so that's it for now. I'll be back with part 2. We will make the cover. It will all be black. Mine will anyway, depending on what color you chose for your base. It could be white, black, craft cardstock, colored cardstock, whatever you decide. Okay, so I'll be back. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.